Right. Where to begin here? Group I. And we have the first game I'm attending. Senegal against Iraq in Toronto.
Okay.
The final game of this group. Excited for that. But of course, the headlines lie elsewhere here. We got France. Now, I'll be honest, Ben. I've talked up Argentina and Spain in previous episodes. I'm starting to drink the French Kool-Aid. I really am.
Absolutely.
They've reached the last two World Cup finals. For one. They won one of them.
Yeah.
It's Didier Deschamps' last World Cup. He's already announced it. Of course, it's a new generation of French players, but I imagine players like Kylian Mbappe love the guy and want him. And N'Golo Kante is still involved, for God's sake, and he, as part of that World Cup winning team. And people talk about Deschamps. I think he's one of the greatest international managers ever, even though sometimes it doesn't feel like it because it's a bit of a Carlo Ancelotti job, managing the
Yeah,
egos.
and sometimes he almost feels like he's hindering the side more than anything, even
Yeah.
though he's won them a World Cup
And almost won them a second one. When
and almost won
let's
them a second. Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
remember, of course, that team that reached the World Cup final was brilliant. Karim Benzema had just won the Ballon d'Or and missed the World Cup through injury. Christopher Nkunku was just the top scorer in the Bundesliga and he
Mhm.
missed the tournament through injury. Two of their most exciting players. N'Golo, that was the Euros, wasn't it? When Kante came back. But I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they're starting. Yeah, Kante and Pogba were their starting midfield going into the tournament, and they both missed it through injury.
Mhm.
Let's remember that this was a team that really people thought, champions curse. They got loads of problems. They got loads of injuries, and then they made the final. They really won it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
And I think they reportedly had some sort of stomach bug, which
Yeah.
is why they were all looked really, really lethargic throughout the start of the game.
Mm.
And Mbappe basically had to go do it himself, mixed
And
with Camavinga coming on and making a huge difference. I thought the only one who looked alert.
didn't Giroud and Dembele get subbed off after about half an hour? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
So
Dembele had a rough game that match.
yes,
He gave away the opening penalty as well, didn't he?
he did. Yeah.
And
But
just generally looked out of his depth. And then look what he's gone on to do since then.
this is the thing. This
So
has to be one of the most talented international sides I've ever seen in my life.
yeah,
Genuinely.
yeah,
You got Mike Maignan in goal, who's
yeah,
still a very good goalkeeper. Perhaps not at the heights of his powers as he was a couple of years ago, but as a starting goalkeeper, you can't complain.
yeah,
Right
yeah.
back, you got your choice: Jules Koundé or Malo Gusto. It's up to you. Either way, you're pretty sorted there. Centre
Yeah,
back, you've got Upamecano, who's
he's fine.
playing
Yeah,
for Bayern Munich at the moment and is, alongside Jonathan Tah, great centre back pairing because they play
yeah.
such a high line. He has to be good. I know he's
hmm
prone to a clanger in a big game, but
He is. Yeah, I wouldn't always trust him in the big moments,
he's
but he's a phenomenal centre half.
and he had a really good World Cup, if I remember correctly, last time out,
hmm
alongside William Saliba, arguably the best centre back in the world. Um,
Right now, definitely.
At left back, you got Teo Hernandez, who is still great, even though
Mhm.
he's in the Saudi league. Midfield, you're probably looking at Chouameni, um, again, still really solid at Real Madrid. And then
Yeah,
who do you want
yeah.
alongside him? Because we got Rabiot, who's having a really good season. We got N'Golo Kante, who's still in a national shirt doing really well. You've still got Camavinga, who gets forgotten a lot. You've still
Mhm.
got Warren Zaire-Emery,
Yeah,
who gets forgotten a lot.
yeah.
Who, when he does come in to play for PSG, does a really good job. That's probably the weakness of the team. And you've got those
It
five
is.
players who are all great, I
Yeah.
think.
I would be surprised if Rabiot is involved. I think
He'll be on the plane. No
first of all
doubt he'll be on the plane. I don't think he'll
but
start.
he keeps falling out with Deschamps, and I we see this a lot with the French sides where they have incredible teams, but they all fall out with each other. I mean, remember, arguably the greatest ever French side never scored a goal in the World Cup
Yeah.
25 years ago.
2002, yeah, on
Yeah, yeah,
paper. But
24 years
of
ago.
course, there was
Yeah.
the Zidane and Henri both came into the tournament injured. So it was one of those where you look at it on paper with the players who played,
Hmm.
but really
Hmm.
it was a bit doomed from the start. But and then I think I've listed off a very good national team so far, and
Yeah,
I've not
yeah,
even got
and this
to
is where it gets most exciting at the wings. Yeah.
let's
Well,
say
what?
they start with, which is what has been rumored, that it's going to be Michael Olise on the right over Ousmane Dembele, and then
Mhm.
it's going to
Yeah,
be
the Ballon d'Or holder.
Bradley Barcola on the left is
Yeah,
what has been rumored, which is incredible,
yeah, yeah,
and it's going to be Ugo Ekitike behind Kylian Mbappe. Now that is interesting me. You got Ryan Cherky as an option. You got Ousmane Dembele as an option. You got Desiree Doué as an
yeah,
option. You got Marcus
yeah,
Thuram as an option.
yeah.
It is absurd. It
Well,
is
what
absurd.
strikes me, what shocks me more than anything is the fact that because we know Kylian Mbappe will start, he's the only one of those who is absolutely going to start. So only two of these other players will play out of the likes of Michael Olise, Ousmane Dembele, Doué, Barcola,
Ekitike. Yeah.
Ekitike. Only two of those players will start. And I mean, I think right now there is a case to say that you could be the best player in the world right now. We're going to come to this later. I would put him as the second best player right now behind another player that we'll talk about
Who's that?
later.
Michael Olise?
Uh, Michael Olise, I would
Yeah, yeah.
put potentially the second best player in the world right now. I mean, his performance against Real Madrid was outstanding earlier this week. He doesn't it's almost like he doesn't understand just how good he is because of how understated he is. But it's like it doesn't matter what defense he's going up against. He will just glide past them as if they're not there.
And this is the thing with France, right? I don't think they're going to be the best team to watch at the tournament, despite all these players. But if you get in a game with
I don't think
France,
Deschamps always lets them be the best
but
team
I
in the
think that's
tournament.
okay. I think that's okay. He's so successful in knockout football. They
Yeah,
gave Spain a good game, really, even though
yeah.
they were rubbish at the last Euros. They went all the way to the semi-finals when none of their players
To
were in
me.
form. Griezmann looked rubbish. Mbappe looked
Yeah,
rubbish.
it was disappointing. Well, Mbappe, he's always going to be hindered by his broken
Of
nose, and
course,
Griezmann. I think that the really disappointing bit was Griezmann, given how exceptional he was
at the
18
World
months
Cup.
before
Yeah,
that
yeah.
in the World Cup. I mean, he's the reason why, despite the fact that that was the best England performance I think we've seen in about 10 years,
Mm,
he was the single reason they progressed in that
yeah.
round, and that was kind of a really deciding moment for them. I think Griezmann in the last Euros was the most disappointing aspect.
And I think what my point is leading to it is France play Spain, let's say, in the semi-finals, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's 0-0. It's cagey. Maybe Spain are dominating the possession, right? You get into extra time, and France bring on Ryan Cherky, Marcus Thuram, and Desiree Doué. You're asking your fullbacks who have played 90 minutes to
yeah,
defend
yeah.
Desiree Doué and Ryan Cherky. Are you
Full of
joking?
energy.
What the hell? Two of the best dribblers in the world. It's insane. And there is a world where Ousmane
Or
Dembele is a
Dembele
super
could be
sub.
used as the
Yeah,
sub. Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I,
exactly.
I almost think that it will. Deschamps will have to play Dembele and he'll have to play Elise. So it'll be Mbappe up front. Maybe Dembele has to play on the left to accommodate Elise.
But
I think
England
that's
have
what's going to
shown that
happen.
doesn't work. We've seen England are the living proof forcing your best players into an 11 doesn't work. And that's why
But
Spain are so good because they
I,
pick the system first.
I think this is different though because it's more Dembele is so two-footed. I think he
He
can
is.
play
I
on the
think
left.
he's the only one where it might
Yeah.
work because he doesn't seem to know which his stronger foot is. But there's no denying that he is generally at his absolute best not playing on the right,
And
regardless of
of
what his stronger
course,
foot is.
for PSG, he plays up front a lot. So why do you could play him up
Hmm.
front and play Mbappe on the left? That's also an
Yeah,
option.
because I am a strong believer that Mbappe is not a natural centre forward by any means. I think he's always at his best cutting in from the left hand side. That's why Giroud was so
Just
useful
gonna
for
say,
them
yeah.
because he unlocked Mbappe by doing all the work Mbappe doesn't want to do down the middle. They don't have that anymore. So I will be kind of interested, if slightly apprehensive as to how it's going to work. Essentially having three wingers up front.
I think it's going to be similar to 2018, where Belgium were the best team at the tournament, I think, and France still won. Um, and I think somebody else, maybe Spain, maybe even England, maybe
Mm.
whoever, is the best team and plays the best football, but France still win because they're France and because they can basically walk through to the quarterfinals, even though this group is really tough, and we're going to get into that. Um, and then just turn it on when they need to. And having Olise, Dembele, and Mbappe, and then if that's not working, you can bring on two of the best dribblers in the world, and I would say a top five striker in the Premier League. If we're being harsh on Hugo Ekitike, he's top five. He could be higher than that based on ability. To be able to
Yeah,
bring a striker of that quality on with two of the best, trickiest wingers to play against, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare for any defender. Not to mention William Saliba. I think he's going to be huge because he
yeah,
was
yeah.
he was their best player at the Euros. He was
hmm
fantastic.
And right now he's the best defender in the world.
Yeah. So that's France. They're my pick currently as favourites. That could change. Um, let's get to
I agree with that.
Norway.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about Norway
hmm
because they're a very interesting one to me. You got Erling Haaland, who has had a good season because he always has a good
hmm
season. Has he had
Yeah,
an
he's a victim
exceptional
of his
season?
own success. No, but he's a victim of his own success. This is the problem. When you score
It's the Kane effect, isn't it?
ridiculous numbers
Yeah,
that yeah. I
yeah.
think the problem he has, unlike Kane, is that the only thing he really does is score goals. So if he's not scoring quite as many goals as he normally does, people criticize him. With Harry Kane, because that was very much in a similar light a few years prior, he would still be doing a lot else to help the team. You don't get that from Erling Haaland. So if he's not scoring, people say, "Oh well, he's not what he once was." Well, no one can realistically have a record-breaking season every single year. He's still there's probably the second best goal scorer in the world.
Yeah, and
Maybe third behind Mbappe as well as Kane.
I think
But
he's a better goal scorer than Mbappe. I think if you put him in that Real Madrid team, he scores more goals than Mbappe. As much as I'm
yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
massive Mbappe fan, but that I think yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think the bigger issue for Norway is Martin Odegaard. What the hell do you do with Martin Odegaard? Because this is a man who
yeah.
looks lost on the football pitch at the moment,
hmm hmm
and he is
They
so
won't
crucial
drop
for
him.
them.
They
Of
won't
course they
drop
won't.
him.
He's the captain. He's going to
Yeah,
lead them out.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
don't think they should drop him because they
But
don't have the resources to replace him.
no,
They've got to try
no.
and make it work for him and give him the confidence. Um, I think it's good for them that they're playing Iraq first because I think that benefits them. It gives them the chance to get their players into form. France and Senegal, that'll be a battle. That'll be an absolute battle.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think, yeah, Norway are a really good team. I just think they've been really unlucky to be put into this group because
They have been incredibly unlucky.
I think
Given
Senegal are
their
comfortably better.
incredible, yeah, yeah, they are. I mean, Norway in amazing form.
Mm.
Their qualifying performances were outstanding, but they've just got unbelievably unlucky in this group.
And whoever plays them as a third place team in the knockouts, good luck because
Yeah,
that's going to be a
yeah,
really harsh
yeah,
draw for
yeah,
whoever gets them. Senegal, we don't know if they're the African champions or not. That's a whole other thing that we're not going to get into.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it is one of the greatest African teams ever because you've still
hmm
got Sadio Mane and Kalidou Koulibaly and Edouard Mendy. Somehow, they're all three of them are still
Yeah,
playing,
yeah,
and Idrissa Gueye as well. But
mm,
then you throw in Ismaila Sarr, who's a great player. You throw in,
yeah,
and the one I'm most excited about, Iliman and Di of Everton.
yeah.
You've
Him
got
and Idrissa Gueye are the ones I'm most excited about.
you've got Pap Gay in the midfield. You've got um, Pap Sarr as well, who plays for Spurs. It's just stacked. You got Malik Diouf at left back, had a really good season for West Ham, and he's got a hell of a rocket of a left foot. I, as much as I say
And their
France are my
fans are
favourites,
incredible.
they are, and I'm
Th-
excited to experience that in the stands.
Yeah,
That's going to be
yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. You're
As
gonna have a great time at that match.
And Iraq fans are crazy as well. Iraq fans are super passionate. We're not going to touch on Iraq
Yeah,
much because it's great that they're here. They're a football mad country. They deserve to be at a World Cup. They're
yeah,
not doing
yeah.
anything in this group.
There's
You
not
swap
much
them
else
with
to say, I
Iran,
don't think.
and we're saying, oh, it could go. They could beat Egypt. They could beat New Zealand. You put Iran in Iraq's place, we're saying exactly the same thing. They got no chance. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I think their best chance is
They're in the
Norway,
hardest team.
but they're still good. There's a chance they lose 4-5 nil. Um,
Yeah.
so, Group I, as much as I've said France are the favourites, a part of me thinks Senegal wins this group and that France
Really?
still do really well and still win it from second place in the group. But I'm gonna stay cautious and go France. I think France and Senegal draw in that first game, which is my most excited game. Although Norway Senegal is going to be great too, and Norway France and Haaland and Mbappe. Oh, this group's great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go France Senegal Norway Iraq. I think
Yeah, I completely agree.
again similar to Germany's group. This one, um, Argentina, Algeria, Austria, Jordan. How are you feeling about Argentina at the moment?
Uh, I think
Because I was quite bullish
I
about them
definitely
last time, and I think I would have them as third favourites now rather than I think I had them first or second last time.
I definitely think they are a weaker side than they were at the last World Cup. I mean, Messi's, what is he, 38 now? It seemed a little old at the last one. Now, I think there's going to be more work to make up for his age. I think McAllister is excellent at kind of at unlocking Messi, but I just think that then, as great as they are, I I don't have them as one of the favorites to win. I think there are better teams now.
I actually think there are three players that are more important to Argentina than Messi. Because Messi, he's going to score goals, he's going to score penalties, he's
Mm.
going to get great assists, he's going to have some moments.
Hmm.
We know that. They need Emi Martinez to be on form.
Yeah.
Because if he plays like he
Mm.
has done recently, they're not going to make it out the quarterfinals. They need Enzo Fernandez to carry his club form and forget about all this controversy that's going on at the moment and play like he can because he's shown that when he's on his day, he is brilliant.
He
And
is.
they need Julian Alvarez to play as well as he did at the last World Cup, if not better,
Yeah.
because Julian Alvarez is the man now. He's the star man for me of this team.
Yeah, yeah, I think I agree with that. I think Emi Martinez, though, in many ways, is going to be the most important factor, just
Yeah.
because
We don't know how he's going to
I,
play.
no, and he, as much as Messi, absolutely won them that World Cup 4 years ago. With a different goalkeeper, that
Yeah,
they
no chance.
potentially concede right in the final minutes of the game, and they certainly. I mean, whilst I absolutely hate the way he won them the penalty, and I despise everything about that disgusting human being. He's the reason
Well, this is
they
really
won the World
harsh.
Cup.
Wow. That's
He's just a horrible piece of work, Emi Martinez. So I hate
see,
complimenting him, but
I
he
quite
is that
like
exceptional.
the shithousery. And as an England fan, Jordan Pickford would do the same if he was in a World Cup final. Come on, let's be real.
He would, but what he wouldn't do is I don't want to get you
Oh, of course, yeah,
kind of demonetized or
we know
anything,
what he did
but
with the cup.
what
Yeah,
what he did to the World Cup, I can't describe it, but I don't think Jordan Pickford does anything like that with the most important trophy in the sport.
I think Argentina, where they, it's the continuity, isn't it? And that's what the argument is going to be. The last three major tournaments they've played, they've won, and that is unprecedented. That's Spain 2008 to 2012 levels,
Hmm.
Um, and it is still largely the same team with some exciting young players like Nico Paz, who is definitely going to get a big move soon from Como. I don't know if he'll start because he's kind of in Messi's position, but he'll play. He'll play a bit. Um, and then players like Thiago Almada and of course Julian Alvarez. Um, I think Argentina make the semi-finals and lose in the semi-finals. That's my prediction for them. I think they make it
I think
far.
that's
They'll
very
be
likely.
tough to beat. Alvarez will have a great tournament, and then they'll lose to either Spain or France.
Yeah.
Um, because I just don't think they have the firepower to keep up. Whereas in 2022, Messi and Alvarez, basically, and Di Maria, those three up front really kept them in that against Mbappe in extra
Mm.
time when they needed them.
Yeah.
Um, reason I say it's similar to Germany's group, you got Jordan in here, another debutant. Sad thing with Jordan is that they did look really exciting in qualifying, but two of their very attacking team, two of their front three are likely to miss the tournament through injury. Two of their most exciting players. So it really sucks that they've got here, and the players that have had such a big role in getting them here are not going to be there. And even then, it's quite a tough group. You know, again, swap them with Iran, and we have a conversation. But Austria are great. Under Ralph Ragnick, they won a lot of hearts. I think they were really unlucky to lose to Turkey. That save in the last minute of that game was phenomenal. And I think there'll be an element of wanting to get revenge, not necessarily on Turkey, but an element of, let's go further. We won the hearts last time. Let's really make a dent. Um, and I'm glad they're here. They're an exciting team to watch. And I think aside from Spain, they are the most club team like national team for me.
Yes, I agree with that. I think there's a structure there that we don't always see in national sides. They don't feel like a collection of individuals,
Mm.
and that I think is always a huge advantage.
And Algeria are okay. Riyad Mahrez is going to be there. That's cool. I haven't thought about him in a while. They've got some
No,
cool
no.
young players like Ibrahim Maza is having a really good season at Leverkusen. He'll be the one to watch, I think, for them. It's pretty straightforward for me. Argentina, Austria, Algeria, Jordan.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Nothing more to say.
But that Argentina Austria game in Texas, that's gonna be amazing. The
Yeah,
Austrians are
yeah.
gonna take it to Argentina. They're gonna really push them. And I'm excited for that.